Olivia, there's a lot to pick through today, not least the idea that Suella Braverman apparently is planning on deporting around 3,000 asylum seekers a month. Is this correct?
Well, this is a briefing that has been leaked from the Home Office to The Guardian. I don't think these are numbers that Suella Braverman herself is particularly keen to put in the public eye. It sounds as though some civil servants in the Home Office believe, and perhaps they have good evidence to think that Suella Braverman's small boats policy is unworkable in practice. And it seems, reading between the lines again, and we don't know this, but have leaked this document to The Guardian essentially to illustrate the idea that it is an unworkable policy. So what this briefing lays out is that 3,000 migrants, if Suella Braverman was to keep to her plan, 3,000 migrants would have to be deported every month. Now, obviously, that comes with huge costs. Each of those migrants would need a solicitor to sit with them through their case. Those sort of immigration solicitors cost around £75 an hour, and 3,000 migrants, it's not just going to take 1 hour to get through their cases. Also, of course, the cost of the flights themselves. Now, Suella Braverman would argue that the point of the small boats policy is, apart from anything else, a deterrent.
Yes.
If you say that people can't stay in the UK, that they will immediately be deported, then theoretically fewer of them should come over. But it seems perhaps that her civil servants don't believe that. So the way I'm reading this is that perhaps there's a little bit of a disagreement going on in the Home Office between the people who are going to implement the policy and those who are making it.
No way. I mean, no way could that possibly be the case, that an elected member of our Parliament and our Cabinet trying to enact a policy that, in a roundabout way, the public have voted on consistently for decades would be undermined by civil servants. That can't be true.
May not be the case. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But the fact that this particular briefing was leaked to The Guardian in particular, I think is relatively telling. And of course, this briefing document, was a genuine briefing document created by the Home Office, created for useful purposes. And it doesn't actually, of course, say that the small boats policy is a bad policy. But the fact that it was leaked at this particular moment suggests to me that perhaps civil servants are keen to highlight the idea, which they feel is represented in this briefing document, that the policy is unworkable. And at least
unless, of course, we got more countries involved. This is part of it, isn't it? Because some would argue, and in light of the things that I saw with my own eyes in Boston yesterday, people would also argue that it is unworkable to have huge numbers of people who, despite what people may say, I'm sorry, are not actually working every single day in this country, are not actually actively providing a net benefit to our economy, just lounging around areas. Where do they live? What do they do? How much is that costing the British taxpayer? So it might be interesting if we had a civil service that was focusing a bit more on that side of thing and not, well, we can't possibly deport that many people to Rwanda. So that's the latest in terms of that policy at the moment, as far as we're aware, based around essentially a leak to The Guardian. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
But, of course, what the government is also talking about now, and the focus has sort of switched, given the figures yesterday, to legal migration rather than illegal migration. The government sort of feels that it's at least beginning to get that in hand, the illegal migration problem. The bill's about to go through its third stage in the third reading in the Lords. Now they're focusing on legal migration, and on that front, it seems as though there is a battle going on at the very top of government, at the very top of cabinet. On the one side, you've got Suella Braverman, who is really keen to bring up the figure at which migrants who are on work visas have to be earning before they're allowed to come here. She believes it should be the median wage, £33,000 or something around that, and they're planning to put it up to that. But there is a lot of opposition from Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, who wants to keep young migrants in the country because it's an easy, quick plug for holes in the economy, and from Gillian Keegan, the Education Secretary, who is worried about the influence of the impact of taking away foreign students